Coming up, we're going to have welterweight action, a scheduled four-rounder. Chris Linson out of Santa Fe, New Mexico, only about an hour north of here. 2-0, 2 knockouts. He's taking on Jose Hernandez, comes in here out of Phoenix. He's 0-1, no knockouts. And of course, coming up, we'll also have our world title fight. Don't leave here. Harold Gray coming in from Colombia to take on Danny Romero. Gray, of course, the world champion. Winning that title back from Salazar. Danny Romero looking to win his second world title. What do you think's next on store for Saucedo, Bob?
Well, you know, he doesn't have a lot of fights. I think this was his 15th professional fight. But he's he's rated very high in the WBC, which for a little guy like that can be a very remunerative position to be in. And I think that's what they love, being involved with the NABF, which is an underling organization of the BC. Keep that title, keep some activity defended, and hopefully get up there in a mandatory position with the Japanese champion.
Well, again, nice for him to get another number in the KO column, getting his 4th knockout against 12 wins. I think that's something he wanted to do, stopping Estrada. I think even more impressive that he stopped him with a body shot. Second time, of course, in the fight that Estrada was down in the 4th. They're finally getting stopped, trying to say it was a low blow. Again, our replay clearly showed good shot to the midsection.
Both times that Estrada had problems in the fight, he was complaining about something other than the shot that he got hit with. But I think that, you know, Polo was a little bit disappointed in his performance. He realized that there was a little bit more ebb and flow to the bout than he would have liked, trying to establish himself as a guy that overpowers, you know, 20 and 17 fighters like Estrada. But I thought it was overall good.
But as we had mentioned in the open, it was an experience situation, too. Estrada came in with a lot of experience. He'd been in with all the big-name boys. And, you know, I thought that was going to take a toll a little bit on Saucedo, and it did. It took him a while to really get on track. And Estrada was showing him a lot of different moves and hitting him with a lot of punches. We had to be sitting there wondering who the heck's hitting me in there, as that right uppercut was landing nicely for 5 rounds.
Yeah, he thought he was in the crowd there for a minute.
All right, we're going to go up to our ring announcer, Henry TAFOYA, with our introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout features welterweights. We have 4 rounds of boxing. Our referee, Tony Rosales. Our judges, William Gant, Nefi Quintana, and Jim Bagshaw. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing in the blue corner, he is from Phoenix, Arizona. He comes in with a record of 0-1. He weighs in at an even 144 pounds. He's wearing gold and blue. A warm welcome to Jose Hernandez. Ladies and gentlemen, out of the red corner, he is from Santa Fe, New Mexico. He comes in with a record of 2 wins, no losses, 2 knockouts. Weighing in at 142.5 pounds, wearing white. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for Chris Linson. 4 rounds of boxing.
Both are professional fighters, you know the rules, good luck to both of you, let's get it.
All right, we're scheduled for 4 rounds here, welterweights, although I'd have to say, Bob, looking at both of these guys, they're probably more like junior welterweights, although they're obviously over 140-pound class, so technically we're talking welterweights today. Chris Linson getting a big cheer from the crowd, of course, because he's from Santa Fe, not far from here. 19 years of age, undefeated as a pro. His first professional bout was past June, so he's keeping busy, fighting once a month.
Seeing if he's in with, finding out he's in with the southpaw earlier. Well, what a great opportunity.
You think he just found that out when the bell rang, Bob?
I don't know. You know how we hate surprises.
You did that to me with you set Matthew Brooks up to fight Hembrick, and we found out he was the southpaw when the bell rang.
You know something? I had Calvin Grove fighting Pollard from Florida and on USA, and they butchered me. Oh my God, they put him in with a southpaw. His manager should have told him. It's a manager's responsibility, right? But you know, what a great opportunity for a kid like Linson and Hernandez to fight, or to, you know, to have chances to fight on these undercards of these big shows coming up. You know, there's not so much pressure on you, but everybody's there, and you get to, you know, just cut your teeth in a situation like that, where a lot of times you won't get it till way down the road in a main event status. So it's great when there's a guy like Danny Romero in town that can bring the big fight, the big exposure, and everything to you. There we see Linson turn a hook over and catch Hernandez.
Hernandez in the second pro fight. He had his pro debut back in July of this year, losing a 4-round decision up in Colorado to Brandon Mitchum, so he'd like to even his record out. Of course, Linson, needless to say, is undefeated. Drops that right hand lead in there, which makes me think he's been in with some southpaws before.
And Brandon Mitchum is a very solid young prospect. His father, Randy Mitchum, we used to use years ago, was a tough customer. But the kid is a winner, and he was an Olympic trials finalist and lost to Vargas, who, you know, was a lot of people thought a cinch for a medal in the Olympics.
About a minute to go now in round number 1. This is scheduled for. That's Linson. He's in the white shorts with the black stripe. Jose Hernandez, originally out of Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, now living in Phoenix, Arizona. He's in the gold with the blue stripe.
Linson's dad was a professional fighter from around here, and a solid opponent, and he lost. He was undefeated 2-0 and went into his third professional fight and got stopped. So the kid was talking about that earlier. I definitely am not looking for any deja vu along those lines.
Linson slips a punch. Hernandez throwing a wild shot, goes off balance, drops to the mat. Nice right hand lead again by Linson. Doing the things he needs to do against the southpaw Hernandez. Cutting off the ring nicely also for a young fighter. We're coming near the end of round number 1. This is scheduled for 4 on the Central Christian Sports Network. Nice left hook lands at the end of the round.
No, he really looks like he's had a lot of experience with southpaws. He's doing all the right things. He's stepping over and he's landing that right hand, the straight right hand to the body, and he's got Hernandez backing up and clutching and grabbing.
Anything you want to do. Feel past me. Anything you want to do.
Take a look at action from round number 1. And watch for this big left hook, and there it goes. He drops it right in at the end. A lot of intensity. Looks like a very intense young man, Chris Linson. Now we take a look at the corner of Jose Hernandez. Already has 1 loss on the ledger in a 1-fight career. Looking to get back to 500. Round number 2 of a scheduled 4-rounder. These are welterweights. Undefeated Chris Linson, 2-0 with 2 knockouts. He's in the white shorts with the black stripe. Jose Hernandez, southpaw, blue and gold. He's 0-1 in his second pro fight. Linson rocked him at the end of round number 1 with a nice left hook, and he's picking up where he left off, Bob.
He really is moving his hands, and he's coming with that strong left hook coming back.
Hernandez trying to punch his way out of that corner, and he'd be much better off to run. Good shots landing in there. Referee separates the 2 fighters, possibly unnecessarily.
Yeah, that Linson does get into a little bit, Arnie. He's getting a little bit wild there, but that hook caught Hernandez coming up on the top of the eye and swelled that up a little bit.
Crowd getting into the fight. Linson's from nearby Santa Fe, New Mexico. We're coming in from the pit in Albuquerque. Nice right hand lead. Rocks Hernandez. Hernandez schooling up at this point, holding on a little bit on the inside. We're going to shake the cobwebs. I'm Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal along with Bob Spagnola. You got to be enjoying this one. Of course, coming up, the World Championship, Danny Romero and Harold Gray. Linson's showing a lot of poise, not jumping on him right now, too.
No, he is. And, you know, he's learning how to relax as he goes. You know, he's breaking down and getting low. Sometimes he stands up straight and just looks at Hernandez. But when he gets low and comes straight to him, that's when he's really effective.
While he was holding on there as we're halfway gone around number 2, he looked over at his corner for instruction. Nice left drops in there from Hernandez. Getting back in the round. Linson keeping that left, though, very low, but he was using it because he had a cock to throw that left hook. Another good left drops in there.
Hernandez doesn't have much form, but he's certainly willing, and there he lands a good straight left hand. He's probably best punch of the fight.
Hernandez showing a very good chin, too. You ought to take a look, though, at that left being kept very low by Linson. Hernandez can come over the top with the right and might wake Linson up. 45 seconds to go in round number 2. This is scheduled for 4, and it's been all action. Great watching these young kids fight.
The crowd's getting into it here, too, in Albuquerque. They know it's a warm-up for the Danny Romero World Championship fight coming up.
Referee Tony Rosales doing a good job of letting these guys fight, too, Bob. He's not all over them.
No, he hasn't, and there hasn't been a lot of clutching, even though there's been a lot of action on the ropes.
Coming near the end of round number 2, and Hernandez starting to get back in the fight a little bit. Linson might have punched himself out for a lot of punches so far in the first 2 rounds. Linson, see if we can listen in, hear what kind of instructions they're giving the 2-0 fighter.
Punch is boxing. Fake the left hand. Fake the left hand and throw the right. It's right, left. Start with
Right, just down and relax and stay focused. He got a little excited there, and he was doing very well, being aggressive, but he got hit with a couple counter shots, and then they told him box, Chris, box, and he got back out on the outside, and he never really landed any more punches for the last minute of the round. I think they both got a little tired.
Round number 3, welterweight, scheduled for 4. Undefeated Chris Linson, he's in the white shorts with the black stripe. Jose Hernandez, he's 0-1, looking even his record. He's in the goal with the blue stripes. It's been all Linson. Bob, my only comment at this point is, as Hernandez opens up with a nice combination of his own, is that Linson keeps that left very low while he's throwing that right.
Yeah, he really doesn't. He's got a tendency to cock his punches back a little bit, especially when he's ready to, he loads up a little bit. But he's green as the grass. He's a young kid, and, those are, mistakes that you'd almost expect at this stage of his career. Whether or not Hernandez counters with a good straight left. I think Chris is a little bit better when he gets inside and lets his hands go, because standing on the outside, he's been getting hit a little bit more with some wild punches by Hernandez.
The way he wings like that, he reminds me of a welterweight that I know named Skipper Pelt. He's just like Skipper, just tries to hook and go a little wild and not really worried about what the other guy's throwing, or at least Skipper earlier in his career.
I know Skipper really has made some huge strides lately. He's settled down. He's got his balance, I think, a lot better. He's got the natural balance.
From all reports, so does Linson. He's got 2 knockouts in his 2 wins.
But you'd sure like to keep that going. But if Hernandez went the distance with Brandon Mitchell, who is a welterweight for sure, maybe he's got a good chin and you don't get everybody out of there.
And Hernandez starting to drop that right in, noticing that Linson's keeping it low and having a pretty good 3rd round. Tough to come back, though, in these 4-round fights. He only gave up the first 2, and at least unofficially on our scorecard.
But I think Chris Linson would be better off to use the effective aggression that he used in the first 2 rounds, rather than standing here at the outside and trying to pot shot Hernandez, because he's getting pot shotted a little bit.
Well, part of that, I think, also, Bob, is Hernandez adjusting, knowing he can't fight on the inside with this kid, and he's staying on the outside trying to get that right jab going. Hernandez across the southpaw. He's in the gold with the blue. Got about 45 seconds to go in the 3rd round. It's only scheduled for 4. Then we'll be going to our world title fight with Danny Romero and Harold Gray. No knockdowns thus far in this fight. A good left hook lands by Linson. Want to yell at him to come back with a right, but he's happy to get the 2-punch combination in and move back.
Yeah, he's just trying to come in with single punches. It's hard to work your jab with the southpaw. It's a very awkward kind of a position to be in. But he lands a straight right hand, which is what he should be doing, either up or down.
Nice right drops in there again on the part of Hernandez, trying to take advantage of Linson, who keeps his left hand dangerously low. We come to the end of round number 3. We'll be back for our 4th and final round.
Standing outside, getting it, that right hand over.
At 140, we say yes.
Último round, Mito. Let's go, Mito. Ese es el tuyo, man.
Jose Hernandez adjusting nicely there in the 3rd round, Bob. Maybe a little bit too late unless he can pull a knockout in round number 4. But staying on the outside, getting his right jab working, and trying to take advantage of that low left hand. And we take a look at action here from round number 3. But there's that straight right hand lead, and Linson really adjusting nicely to fighting a southpaw.
Here we see the same punch from a different angle. He just let it go. But he wasn't very busy in that round, Chris Linson, and I'm sure he'll pick it up quite a bit in this last final 4-rounder.
4th and final round. Undefeated young Chris Linson, 19 years of age, 2-0. He's in the white shorts with the black stripe. That's Jose Hernandez. He's in the gold with the blue stripe. Been no knockdowns thus far in the fight. Linson ended round number 3 with a nice right hand lead. Shook Hernandez, but for the most part, round number 3, Hernandez adjusted nicely. Trying to stay on the outside, but needs an uppercut in close. Linson, see if he can finish him here, looking for his 3rd straight knockout in as many fights. Thus far, Hernandez shown a very good chin in this fight.
And he's game, too. He's fighting off those ropes, and he lands a good combination on Linson. He's trying to fight off those ropes. He's got Linson holding on.
Linson looks to his corner, turns around for instructions. That could cost him someday. Never take your eyes off your opponent. Some good body work there by Hernandez. Linson lands a big left hook, though. Oh, and a nice left hook lands from Hernandez. And that got Linson's attention.
Hernandez dead game here. Not his balance ain't much, Arnie, and his technique isn't much, but he sure is willing.
And Linson not throwing much now, throwing a lot of arm punches. Looks a little weary, Bob. There's still a minute and a half to go in round number 4. Good left lands. Linson keeping his hands very low. Hernandez really tagging him here. And if Hernandez managed to win the 3rd round on any judges' scorecards, which he might very well have done, he could pull out a draw here, having a very good 4th round.
Yeah, he sure is, and I scored the 3rd round even. I thought both guys had their moments, but Linson was certainly off the pace that he had in the first 2 rounds.
Nice right drops in by Linson. Another good right lands. Linson weathers the storm.
But after those kind of exchanges, Chris Linson doesn't seem to be as apt to go in and force the fight, which is, I think, the most successful he's been in this when he uses that technique.
Has a bad habit, though, of looking over at his corner. He had Hernandez off balance, bouncing into the ropes, and instead of going after him, he looked over at his corner again. Flat-footed.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Hernandez puts himself in very bad positions throughout the fight, but he's dead game, and if he sees an opening, he's definitely going to go for it. He's not looking to the corner for any advice.
15 seconds to go in the fight. Again, nice right-hand lead, followed by another right-hand lead. Drops in by Linson. He's got Hernandez reeling now, but only 5 seconds to go in the round and in the bout. And that'll be it. This fight's going a distance. 2 young fighters embrace. Chris Linson, though, by all accounts, has probably improved to 3-0. And Jose Hernandez will drop down to 0-2, still yet to get his first professional win. '19-year-old Chris Linson, he's out of Santa Fe, big crowd favorite here. And of course, we're at the pit in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Don't go away. Coming right up, Danny Romero and Harold Gray for the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship of the World. There's Jose Hernandez, now residing in Phoenix, originally out of Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. And we're going to take a look here at action from round number 4. There's that right hand lead. And watch this big miss followed by another right. And there, you take a look. Instead of following up, though, again, Chris Linson, you can see it clearly there as he eats a left, straight left in this sequence from Jose Hernandez. Looked over at his corner. A habit. Nice to see him respecting his corner's wishes, Bob, but a habit he's got to break in terms of looking over there too much during the round.
No, really, you see a lot of fighters, you know, that are tuned in with their corner and everything, but, you know, the old saying of protect yourself at all times. You got to do that.
We're going to go up to our ring announcer, Henry TAFOYA, with our decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for these two outstanding athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Jim Backshaw has it 39-38. Nefi Quintana has it 40-37. William Gant has it 40-37. The winner by unanimous decision from Santa Fe, New Mexico, Chris Linson.
There you have it. Chris Linson improves to 3-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, the main event.
Jose Hernandez still looking for his first professional win. He drops down to 0-2. And Bob, one of the judges did have it as close as we said it might be, 39-38, with the other two judges having it 40-37 respectively. And young Chris Linson looks very promising, either as a welterweight or possibly a junior welterweight. All of 19 years of age, and they love him here in Albuquerque as he's only from Santa Fe. Coming up, the IBF Junior Bantamweight Championship of the World.